It's time to talk about document processing stages within ABBYY FlexiCapture. So we'll talk about these major stages. Essentially, they're ingestion, recognition, verification, and export. I'll come back to those categories. We kind of mix those categories up a little bit. But let's just start with an overview. So a document in FlexiCapture is a single, a document is a single form, but it could be a multi-page form. So a page is a one-sided document image, and a page can have one or more fields. So a document can have multiple pages. Here is a display of a 5-page document. What we have here is 3 fixed form pages. It's one document. So page 1, page 2, and page 3. And then we have 2 annex pages. And annex pages are supporting documentation. So we OCR that page, but we don't extract field data from annex pages. And if part of our export is we want to export our documents to fully text searchable PDF files, all 5 pages here would be OCR'd and would be text searchable. But if you want to go after field level data, you can't do it from annex pages. You would have to convert the annex pages into form pages. And you'll learn more about that as we go on. So document structure can be defined a variety of ways. For instance, we have the ability to say a document can have a variable amount of pages or just a single page. And we'll get into some details there when we talk about document sections. These stages are broken down a little bit differently here. We've got really an ingestion stage first, and then this is really what I would call a recognition stage. So the documents are classified, and once documents are classified, we can extract the data. And it's possible that a verification step could be skipped. If everything looks good, then we can go ahead and skip verification, and then the document goes directly to export. So those are the main stages, but we'll drill down and talk a little bit more about classification. So ingestion can happen in a variety of ways concurrently. We can ingest from hot folders, we can ingest from FTP sites, from emails, API calls, thick client scan station sessions, thin client scan station sessions. So all these different ingestion methods could be happening concurrently. It's also kind of nice that there's no additional charges that come your way by utilizing these different ingestion methods. They're all bundled with FlexiCapture. Classification, as I said, we get back to that. Documents, once they're, say, placed in a hot folder, they're pre-processed. They're deskewed, they're despeckled. You can optionally turn on auto rotation to make sure that the document's in its proper rotation. And then we apply whatever classification algorithms that you set up in the project setup station. So that could either be rule-based or it could have to do with machine learning classification. And there's going to be some internal algorithms that might consider several possibilities, and then it makes its best choice. Extraction. So once documents are recognized, then the data can be extracted. And once we've received the field level data, we perform format checks and validation rules right at the recognition stage. And this is no user operator involvement at all. It's just an automatic step. So if I've got a database lookup or I've got a format check, that happens once we've extracted the data. And maybe my form is perfect, then that form will go directly to export. But maybe my form has some problems, some rule violations, then those fields are marked to go to a verification step. There's a variety of possible verification stages. Some you may choose to use and some you may not. It's very common to turn on data verification and then the verification station. That's a bifurcated verification approach. There's also a place where you can check on document assembly to make sure that everything looks good. Batch integrity check to make sure all the images that you think should be there. You can add custom stages, so certain documents go to certain stages under certain circumstances. You have the option of turning on export confirmation, and then if there's any problems before the document is exported, it would go to an exception queue. So you've got a lot of different possible stages. Some of them are optional. We have different roles. So a data verification operator role will do the adjudication of low confidence characters and some minor rule checking, whereas a verification operator has more power and can check all sorts of rules. A senior verification operator has the ability to actually kind of cherry pick, go through and hand select which documents they want to process first, whereas a verification operator doesn't have that power. A senior verification operator also can reroute batches or images within batches to other queues in an ad hoc manner. And then if I create custom queues, I can also create custom roles and assign them to those custom queues. Let's say I've got high value invoices. I can assign my power users to a specialized queue that only processes invoices that have a total over, say, $10,000. It's very common to bifurcate the verification process so that data verification operators will take the first stab at a batch and they'll knock out all low confidence characters. And then the verification station operators are kind of more power users, and they're just resolving rule violations that are shown down here. Some rule violations can be fixed at the data verification station, but some cannot. So typically power users will operate the verification station. And then exporting is the last of the main stages in a FlexiCapture workflow, and exporting happens automatically without operator involvement. You can have multiple concurrent exports happening at once, and once again, exporting happens at the processing station. So we talked about different operators' jobs. We talked about the main processing stages. We talked about bifurcated verification, and we talked about ingestion and export, some of the things that happen at recognition. So that covers kind of the most straightforward processing. You can get more complicated in your FlexiCapture workflow. I always like to start out simple.